Hello, everybody. How y'all doing today? Welcome to the next episode of the Hillbilly Files. I am out today in the little West Virginia town of Gilbert. We are standing where Gilbert Creek spills into the Guyandotte River in a bend of land that actually mattered long before there was ever a town called Gilbert. This little mouth of the creek appears in some of the earliest written settlement accounts in what is now Mingo County. In the late 1700s, a small group of French settlers reportedly tried to establish a vineyard here. Hang on, it's a little windy. Tried to establish a vineyard here, but the effort failed and the little settlement disappeared. By the mid-1800s, surveyors traveling the Guyandotte River documented that these hills held timber and coal in great abundance. When the railroad pushed into southern West Virginia in the late 1800s, the transformation became permanent. Coal development expanded all throughout the valley. Rail lines tied the creek to communities outside in the real world. Boarding houses, stores, hotels, and saloons followed the railroad and the underground coal seams. Gilbert was formally incorporated in 1918, Spanish flu year. The West Virginia Blue Book states that the town was named for Gilbert Creek and that the creek itself was said to be named for an early traveler who was killed in the area. Other local accounts say that the name may trace back to an early settler named Joseph Gilbert. The official record ties him to the creek, but the exact identity behind the name is still a mystery today. What is certain is that by 1918, enough people were living and working here to organize a town in this narrow little stretch of flat valley. Like many coalfield towns, Gilbert's history is soaked in violence. In May of 1894, a newspaper reported that 2 men were jailed for breaking into a store on Gilbert Creek. It was a very brief mention, but it shows that even in the 1800s, this valley saw its share of trouble right alongside the progress that it was making. Then in March of 1908, one of the most dramatic early incidents tied to this area unfolded. On March 16, 1908, William Alexander Trent, described as one of the oldest citizens of Mingo County and one of its wealthiest, was shot by policeman Otis Riley inside the second story of the Palace Hotel. Unfortunately, the Palace Hotel was one thing we couldn't find today, so if anybody knows anything, give me a yell. Trent was reported to have been drinking. The officer claimed that he was attempting to arrest Trent when Trent attacked him with a knife. The 68-year-old Trent was taken to the Miners' Hospital in Welch, where he later died from the gunshot wounds. Alexander Trent is buried in a small, remote hillside cemetery near Gilbert. His grave rests above the same creek system that helped give the town its name. An old man shot in a hotel during the coal boom years, now laying in the hills that built his fortune. Decades later, in 1991, a small bar in Gilbert known as the Playpen became the starting point of a violent crime documented in West Virginia Supreme Court records. The case began there before leading to robbery and murder charges. Gilbert has also seen modern mystery. In January of 2019, Chris Mackie May was reported missing after last being seen on Little Egypt Road in Gilbert. His case remains unresolved to this day. Not to mention that through it all, the river has risen and fallen countless times and flooded the entire place. Floods have reshaped the Guyandot and Tug valleys more than once, but eventually the cold declined and tourism rose to take its place. Today, the town of Gilbert is known nationwide as the gateway to the Hatfield-McCoy ATV trails and hosts a national level trail festival every year called Trail Fest. Riders from all over now travel in side-by-sides where coal miners once walked. But beneath that modern layer, the early stories still remain exactly as they were, while the town's history marches on. Gilbert began as just a creek mouth marked on an old map. It has a very unique history all its own, and today we've come here to share it with all of you. And I have broke out the bike, and I'm going to use this puppy to document the town today. And then we got a little bit of an adventure a little bit later that we're going to throw into the mix and head up into the mountains and see if we can't find that old Trent Cemetery. Anyway, this should be a really interesting day. Hope you guys stick around. Hope you enjoy the video. So I guess without further ado, I am in the town of Gilbert, West Virginia today. And I am on several missions today. You know how I usually say I'm on a mission? Well, I'm on several missions today, and one of them's a really big one. Before we get started, I stopped here at the Gilbert Municipal Complex, City Hall, and found the mayor. Ran into the mayor personally. I was kind of hoping for like a CVB board member or something like that, but I got lucky and run into the mayor personally, Mayor Fox, and he knows stuff. He actually knows things. Right off the bat, big win. The mayor personally is going to give us a tour of the museum. How cool is that? And we are inside. This is the mayor's office. This used to be the principal's office when this was a school. So when you got into trouble, this is where you were brought.
Yeah, that's how it worked.
But everybody, this is Mayor Michael Fox of Gilbert, West Virginia. And he has graciously agreed to show us around a little bit, show us the museum a little bit, and tell us just a little bit about the history of Gilbert, West Virginia. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Take it away.
Gilbert got its name from supposedly the only story I've ever been told or know of is a man named Gilbert come in here, set up a homestead, and the Indians killed him on what is called Gilbert Creek now, and that's how Stafford District started. I've been involved with the town for 20-some years.
Uh-huh.
Or when was it? The election was this year.
Right, so but you've been on the council for like 20, right?
Yeah.
I heard that.
Yeah, I've been involved with the council for almost 20-some years now.
So you know your town very well.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yes. I've lived right here lived right in the middle of town my entire life.
It's a cool little town. It is. Gilbert's always had a cool little reputation, and Trail Fest too. You know, yeah. It's wild. I came over one Trail Fest. You know, brought my ATV over. It's pretty wild. Yeah, I've moved away 2 or 3 times, and I always somehow managed to find my way back home somehow.
Yeah, that's what I've always said. No matter where I'd go, I'd always end up home.
Yeah.
After a while.
I feel you, man. I feel you.
That's why I say I'm always I would always love to go visit somewhere, even stay maybe a year.
Yeah.
But after about a year, I'm ready to come home. It's home.
Yeah, home is home. Home is where the heart is, right?
And Southern Appalachia has its own thing.
It does.
You can fight for your neighbor every day, but if your neighbor needs your help, if his house is burning, you'll run over to save
that's true.
it.
Then go hit the museum and hear all about the town of Gilbert.
Go right on down there.
Check this out, y'all. The old school. You'll like this. Look at this hall. Can you not see the old grade school? I bet for a lot of y'all, something like this brings back a lot of memories. And this is the museum.
Everything in here has been donated by people, and when we started this thing, everybody bring this in. It's like, I found Dad's old hat, I found Dad's old uniform, whatever. And this, if I remember right, I think this was one of the first barber chairs.
Yeah, first barber shop in town.
Ever brought here.
Yeah, almost 100 years old. Wow, really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
And it actually sat right over there past the old gas station.
Really? The old barber shop,
Yeah.
Huh? I'd say that's probably seen quite a few haircuts, ain't it?
And these old scales here, a good story on these was our legendary Ed Farrell. Had a store down here right at the bridge. First person in town to ever sell soda pop and a hot dog.
Mm-hmm.
My daddy said on the Saturday when they was off school, him and his brother get up and said all they done from daylight to dark was load pop and unload pop off trucks over at the store.
Yeah.
But these scales, they was the first scales other than besides the train depot in Gilbert. But all the old women, when they got pregnant, this is how they checked their weight. They would come in to Ed Farrell's, put a penny in the scale, and check their weight every month to see how they was doing.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So that's Ed there.
Oh, hello, Ed. There's Ed, everybody.
He was a contrary old feller, he was.
Was he? Was he?
Loved to fish. Went to bed at 7 o'clock every night. Got up at 3 o'clock every morning.
I heard that. I think I'd liked it.
Just a lot of old cool photos. This is one of the first football teams Gilbert ever had, the Leatherheads.
Leatherheads, huh?
That's what they's called, the Leatherheads, because they're leather helmets.
Yeah. What's that toy cannon that belonged to Leona Trout? You heading up to that graveyard a little later.
One of the first accountants in town.
Really?
Old calculator.
That would be Calculator Zero, huh?
Yeah. That's how the old metal bridge used to look.
Yeah.
And the giant sycamore, that was one of the biggest trees around in the southern part of the state. We finally had to get this tree cut down. It started dying. Tree limbs would fall out, and the tree was so big, the tree limb was this big around, and it'd stretch from the riverbank almost to the house.
Really?
Yeah, and after it hit one of the company trucks,
Yeah.
Dave's like, we got to do something with this.
Yeah, that's a beast.
Yeah.
That's a beast.
Nobody around, none of the loggers around had a saw long enough to cut all the way through it so they could cut the rings.
Yeah, the Mingo Oak, they did that. They brought in great big lumberjacks from out of state to bring it down.
Yeah. So mining hats and buckets people's donated.
Okay. Old carbide lamps.
Yeah.
You ever seen one? You ever seen one actually being used? A carbide lamp?
Not being used. I've seen it lit at places.
I've never seen one actually lit. I'd be kind of curious to see what one looks like.
The possum light they used to have. That's what you'd carry to make sure you didn't have gas.
Oh, real? What is it now? Run that by me again.
They call it a possum light. Back in the old days, you heard the stories of the canaries.
That's why I was at. Yeah, that's why I was at. Cause the canary.
Well, then this is one of the first ones to come out, and you'd watch your flame. If it start flickering, you was running out of oxygen.
Okay.
You was getting black damp.
Right. See, we've done stories about the canary in the cage, the canary in the coal mine.
Mm-hmm.
That the canary dies, you've got about 60 seconds to get out.
Yeah.
That is amazing. I've never seen one of those.
Yeah.
Huh. What's that? Navy uniform from World War II.
Yeah.
On loan from Jennifer Miller. Look at that, guys.
That's her grandfather's.
Really?
Yes.
That is cool. What was that rank? What would that rank be?
Let me see.
Is that a sergeant?
Yeah, I think so. I think sergeant.
Three stripes?
Yeah.
I may be wrong. One of you military guys jump in there.
Our first fire helmet.
Oh, really? Is that from your first fire department?
One of them.
Really?
One of them.
That's pretty cool.
There's a
GFD.
We kind of lost a gap there. They said the first fire department got started after one of the stores and houses burnt down. They started a bucket brigade.
Yeah.
He said, well, after that, everybody went together and the county bought a pumper truck.
A pumper, yeah. An old Philco, huh?
Yeah.
Check that out, guys.
That was the only entertainment you had back
Yeah,
in the day.
the Waltons had one of those.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember that from as soon as I saw that. I remember that from the Waltons TV show. That is cool.
Old telephones. There's once upon a time it was only like 4 lines in Gilbert,
Yeah.
and everybody went to the store.
Still get a wrong number, couldn't
Yeah,
you?
everybody went to the store, and then I still could remember we had a no party line in town.
Yeah, I can remember them. Mom used to eavesdrop.
And it was the fire departments.
Yeah.
And I used to get tickled. I hear that red phone ringing. I'd grab a chair or stool, whatever I could to climb up there so I could see what was going on.
Yeah, I can remember that when I was a little bitty kid having that party line.
Mm-hmm.
The phone would ring and Mom would run for it. Mom, that's not ours. Ours is 7 ring. Shut up. They'll hear you. Shut up.
I see what Frank's doing.
Now there, John W. Stafford. That right there.
That's the reason we are called Stafford District. It's because of the Stafford family. They was actually
one of the original.
They was the first.
area.
Some of the first settlers come in and actually make peace and started trading with the Indians.
Really?
Uh-huh.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Hatfield McCoy Moonshine. It's from the distillery up here?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're direct descendants too.
Yeah, she's a granddaughter.
Hey, that's another one of those little testers, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Huh. I've never seen one of those. I've seen canary cages. I've seen a dozen of those. Just the little squares. But that is wild, man. When that canary died, you better get out now.
Yeah, you didn't have much time.
Yeah, that's true. You go check out your fire truck?
Sure.
Now, this is the Presbyterian church here in Gilbert. One of the oldest around, right?
This is Stafford, yes.
Now this is one of the original Staffords. Remember the Stafford district? This is one of the original Staffords. This is, I don't want to get over on it. Yeah, Levisa, Levisa, Stafford, born 1811 and passed away 1886. That's historical. That's an old grave too. That's been there a long time, ain't it?
Yeah.
Wow, did y'all hear that? The church is 150 years old, give or take. Gilbert Fire Department. Got the mayor. The mayor giving me a tour. How cool is that, y'all? That's one of the cemeteries I'm going to check out too, right up there. Another Trent cemetery. He just showed me one.
See, that's the graveyard right there.
I see it back there.
What's the killer?
Oh, yes. Hello. Hi there.
That's our killer wheel.
Hi there. How are you? How you doing? How is your puppy? Yeah. Wow, check that out.
This is the old truck.
What model was that? 48. 48, huh? I heard that. She's pretty, ain't she? Y'all take really good care of that thing, don't you?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a parade funeral truck. That's about it.
Wow, it looks great.
I bring my grandson over. He says, "I want to sit in Papa's old truck."
Yeah, sit in the fire truck.
Yeah.
That is really cool. You just don't see.
He'll say Peepaw, talking about my daddy.
Right,
I said, "Well, son, actually, had been his daddy's."
Yeah, really. Yeah, it would have. That is really cool. Okay, we are back at City Hall, and the mayor is back in his office. He had some stuff to go do, and I have some stuff to go do as well. So anyway, I guess this is the part where we break out the bike and go explore the town a little bit, show it to you guys. So this should be a very interesting ride. It don't look like it's even big enough to get an ATV up through there, so it's a good thing I brought the bike. All right, we got the camera all set up on the handlebars. Perfect vehicle for it. Nothing but a slight little tick when it rolls. No engine sounds. Perfect timing. The truck rolls up. That store, that building that the truck just blocked. It's Clay Brothers now. It used to be Clay's Grocery. That was the main grocery store for many miles around here. You are headed that way. It's the mayor's office on my left. McCoy Moonshine Distillery is right up that hill. Hollywood Cemetery. I have not been here. Check that out. A Hollywood Cemetery in Gilbert. Like it. So I was thinking when I went by a minute ago, it looks just like it, the layout. Yep. I thought so. And there it is. Hatfield McCoy Moonshine Distillery. How we doing? Doing pretty good. How y'all doing today? Oh no, I was just coming up, wanted to see the place.
Yeah, he's in the distillery.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I came up once before. I just figured I'd came up and look around, out riding around a little bit today.
Yeah, he's in there.
Hi, pups. What a matter? What's the matter? What's the matter? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here, girl. Come here, it's okay. Come on. Come on. Let's look at that. That is pretty, ain't it? We're going that way. That is the residential area, is down that way, so we'll kind of go through there. I'll show you where that cemetery is real quick, but I have to come back a little later to do that. That goes up and crosses. This lower set of tracks. Mud hole. Okay, it looks like this is a walker, ain't it? I don't know. Let's see. Get across the tracks. See what it looks like. Wish me luck. Now, Mayor said he didn't remember which way. Is it that first valley or this first valley? When we find out. Don't see nothing there. First valley. I don't think that's it. Now, I don't believe this way's it. I think it's the other way. Let's flip, find out. Get down a lower gear, low that speed a little bit. Speaker came loose too. Gravel shook my speaker loose. Well, I'll just tell you guys, this old Trent cemetery is turning out to be, oh my God, it's a bruiser, y'all. I went way down through that way, double checking. Now check this out. Okay, you see right down here, see a lower set of tracks. See those? And an upper set right here. Now the only directions, there's no GPS, but there are written directions. There's only 2 known pictures. That's one of them right there. But there's only 2 known pictures. It says the cemetery is located about 1.5 miles south of Gilbert, above both sets of tracks of the N&WRR. It is located on the left side of the first hollow above Gilbert, across the new bridge, opposite of Clay's Market. Walk up the bottom of the lower set of tracks down there. Follow these tracks until you reach an unpaved road which leads to the upper set. That's it right over there. Follow the upper set of tracks to the first hollow on your right. Follow the left side of this ravine hollow to the top of the hill. Now the problem with that is I already did that. I went out, need to hurt the baby even. Went out this way, circled out through, I found an old homestead. There's an old homestead out here with like an old fireplace. And I went out through this way, back up, looped over the hill, came down this way, went out that way, went up there, and then came down on an angle this way. I have covered that hill. I've went at least a half a mile that way and at least a half a mile that way. I cannot find this puppy. It is up there somewhere, but I have no clue where. Even breaking out the big guns on this one, drone and all, still didn't see anything. Of course, the only pictures of it, it's in like trees. It's totally overgrown really bad. So, not looking good, is it? Not looking good for finding that graveyard. We've still got another one to document today, but I was really wanting to find this one. That's the way it is though, isn't it? Some days your best just ain't good enough. You know, you do your best, you climb the mountain, you ride the rails, you all this other stuff looking, but sometimes your best just ain't good enough. It's just the way life is, isn't it? Alright, I'm gonna look a little bit more before I give up. You know me, I'm stubborn that way. So I'm gonna look a little bit more and just see if I might get lucky before I head out and go check out the other graveyard. I know that one. I know where it is. Look at that. It's that wood stove I was telling you about. Check that out. Bunch of ants. Calling it home now. But you can see, let me get over here out of the way, out of my own way. You can see where an old homestead used to be. This is dug out right there. The house was placed right here. The question is, where is the graveyard? That's the question. See, all kinds of old stuff. There's an old number 4 wash tub over there, and stove pipes and all kinds of stuff. That's a big coal stove. Look at that. Big wood stove, I mean. Look at that thing. It went in somebody's house at one time. Alright, ain't but one thing to do. Get your mountain goating shoes on, start up the hill. See if we find anything. Wish me luck, guys. Here we go. Well, we're up there now. We're up on the mountain now. Problem is, zero luck. Not a sign, not a hint of an old graveyard. Following an old game trail right now just to see where it goes. Same area. It's easier to travel, at least a little bit, and not a whole lot, but it's a little bit easier to travel. Some of them are tough, y'all. Some of them hard to find. This is one of them. Probably shouldn't have wore a black shirt today. Getting warm. Oh Lord, what's that? Some kind of rock formation. I don't think it's a grave. Huh. I don't get lucky soon. I'm gonna have to call this one in. Call this one a day. We'll look for another half an hour or so. And if I don't find it, we'll move on out and head on to the next place. Man, it's a rough day. I thought it'd be easy. I had to bike. This will be an easy day. Wrong. Well, guys, as much as I hate to say it, it looks like we may have to call in the dogs on this particular hunt. I have scoured this hillside, that ravine, the next ravine, and the ravine after that, the ravine down this way. I have scoured and climbed and mountain goated all over these hills. Have yet to find anything that even remotely resembles a grave or graveyard or anything like that. The two known pictures show a few at least, but I have not seen anything. Nothing. Figures, don't it? Y'all think you got a easy day because you get to ride the bike today. Nope. On back down. Work our way through this thicket and head down that way. Well guys, no luck at all on the Trent Cemetery. No luck whatsoever. I just now climbed back down the mountain. Luckily the bike's still here, so I'll take that as a win. But yeah, I just kind of sat down on the tracks for a second here to catch my breath before I head out. That was brutal. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, that was rough. I'm pretty acclimated to climbing these old mountains anymore. But yeah, that one was pretty rough. I'm not gonna lie, that's a rough one. I scoured that hillside 3 separate times and never did have a bit of luck. But anyway, I guess we came over and we showed the town and we told the history and showed you guys around and all that good stuff. The only thing we couldn't find was that one Trent grave. Oh well, that's life, I suppose. You know what they say, some days you get the bear, some days the bear gets you. Anyway guys, alright, I'm gonna get on out of here. Gotta ride back down, go down that road, cross the trails, the lower tracks, and back down that way. Anyway guys, I guess we will see you all on the next episode of the Hillbilly Files. Leo out.